So Scalpicino says it's an extremely high risk play going into open, but I'm going to give it a shot. If you try this, please size properly and assume the trade will go to $0. I think he might mean like you might lose all of your money. I'm not sure exactly what that means, so I'll ask for some clarification. But this is his first alert. So it's sell limit 5,000, 17 tick take profit, 17 tick stop loss. So I'm going to flip back to trading view and I am going to hit the trade panel, sell limit 5,000, take profit 17, stop loss 17 ticks. I'm going to do one contract, so I'm risking 212.50 to make 212.50. Okay. And there's the order on the screen. I can drag it and adjust it if I need to. Just click and hold. Okay, you'll see the dollar amounts for the stop loss and the take profit will change as I change my entry. If I want to move all of it, I just hold shift and click and drag and it'll move all three of them up and down together. Okay. So we'll leave it there for now. We've got 4 minutes until open.
Marcus, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Eddie. What's up?
Okay, cool. My mic wasn't working.
All good, all good.
So for your strategy, you just basically look at the areas that you have highlighted for a bounce, right? Not for a continuation.
I don't know. I just look at these areas. These are areas of interest for me, right? It doesn't mean that I'm automatically looking for a rejection or I'm automatically looking for continuation. Either one is fine. But these are areas that are interesting to me. This area specifically is interesting to me because of, when we made this new high, this is where we stopped. Right. So looks like there's pretty strong resistance up here. We came up here and then flushed straight back down on last Friday. And then this area was tough to get above once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, broke through. So if we come back down here, this looks like it'll probably be support. Resistance should turn into support. But to answer your question again, I'm not necessarily just looking for a rejection or looking for a continuation. I just like to be alert. I like to be aware of these areas when price gets in there.
I see.
Yeah. Okay, we have a 4-hour supply zone at 5,075 as well, so that can help push this trade down if we hit and reject. Okay, so he's saying we have a supply zone at 5,075. So I'm going to just take out my horizontal line tool. I'm going to find 5,075. Okay, and I'm going to label this supply zone. I'm going to put that on the right side so it's right on my screen. I'm going to put it in caps, bigger letters, and I'm going to identify this as a scalpicino so I know why I have it on there. So he's saying if we get up there, 5,000 is a key psychological level. That's where we have our sell limit order at. And then right above that, there's a supply zone up in this area at 5,075 that should make it difficult for price to break through. So if we get triggered for our short order here, the sell limit order at 5,000, We have extra confluence, we have extra factors in support of our trade direction. But it looks like it's breaking through. So for me, I would like to be looking for a potential short opportunity now that we've broken this trend line. It's on a 1 minute chart. So trend line started around 4 a.m. Okay, we're breaking that, which means we are showing weakness in this move up. I'd like to see a bull flag or like a head and shoulders pattern form. Oh, sure. I said bull flag, I meant to say bear flag. Okay, if you guys have any questions while we're going, feel free to ask them. Okay, so this looks a little bit bull flaggy to me. We got this little swing low right here where I started my drawing tool, and now it's moving up. And I'm gonna hold control and then drag this to copy it. I like to see more than like 1 or 2 candles on the bear flag. It might just break down without me, and I'll just have to be patient and watch that move. Or it can just keep going up. Just no idea what's going to happen, so just being patient is the most important thing. There's always going to be more setups, so right now we're just watching what happens. Okay, it's 5 minute OBC, so 5 minute outside bar close forming now as well. I may change my order to a market sell and short this if we break below it on the next candle. All right, so he has a similar idea to what I have. Let's see, he posted that at right at 6:35. So I'm going to switch us over to a 5 minute chart. Just going to hit 5 and hit enter. Okay, so what he's talking about here, I'll get rid of this trend line for a second. This 5 minute candle is higher than the high of the previous candle and lower than the low of the previous candle. So this 5 minute candle completely is outside of this candle right here. So this is a 5 minute outside bar, or OBC stands for outside bar close. So that typically can point to a reversal, especially at the top of a trend. So this is going into an uptrend. We have an outside bar close here. If we break below, he's saying he's going to possibly market order short. And I don't think he gave a target or a stop. So let's ask. So I'm just going to get ready in case this breaks downside. So he said market order if it breaks below. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself. I got a horizontal ray tool. And I'm just going to mark the bottom of this candle. So I know if we get below 49.94.50, Mark said probably going to get short. Okay, so Mark posted 2 plays he's looking for. So the first play is a sell limit, so he's getting short at 5,000. He's short at 5,000. If it goes up to 5,000, his profit targets are going to be the same regardless of which entry he takes. He will say his stop loss if he enters. Okay, enter short if we hit 5,000, or enter short if we break below 94.50. Okay, so that looks like it's about to happen. And it happened, so I'm going to get short 2 contracts. Okay, and I'm going to remove this sell limit order up here for the other one. Okay. And then kind of just waiting to see what he says about, well, first I can do the profit targets. So profit target 89.75 and 85. So I'm actually going to delete this buy limit order, this profit target order. And I'm going to put 2 new ones on here. So one is 49.85. And then the other profit target is 89.75. 49.89.75. So I'm short. I sold 2 contracts. So a profit target is going to be a buy limit order below the current price. So, okay, if I'm short 2 contracts, if I get stopped out, I'm going to close out here unless Mark says something different. So short on the break of the OBC, stop loss will be if we break above the OBC. So right now he has his stop at 99.75. So is it a hard stop at 99.75, or are you looking for a 5-minute close above the OBC? Okay, again, this is the OBC right here. His stop right now is 49.99.75. Okay, he's got profit targets marked at 89.75 and another one at 85. So I set up my sell or my targets with orders. I did buy limits at 89.75 and 85. The way that Mark likes to do it is he likes to use market orders. So he's just going to probably click on one of these on this buy market button to trim out of his position. Okay. Stop loss is going to be on the 5-minute, be a close on the 5-minute above the OBC. Okay, so it's not a hard stop. So what he's saying, and I'll just drag my stop up a little bit, what he's saying is if we get a 5-minute candle that closes up here above the high of this outside bar, then he's just going to close out his trade. So it doesn't matter necessarily if it goes above and then it comes back down below. If it closes below, that's fine. He doesn't care so much if it just ticks a little bit above. But if it closes above, that's where he's going to get out. For the trade that I was looking at, this would have been perfect right here. So we broke down below this trend line here, made a little bear flag. Even another bear flag would have been great for an entry. So Mark and I are on the same page, which is nice. Always good to be on the same page, have a little extra confidence in your trade. Looks like the first profit target is about to hit. Okay, that one hit. So now my buy stop order is still at 2, but I only have 1 contract. So I need to edit this just in case it comes back up. Okay, my buy stop order now matches the quantity of my my short order. Let's see what Mark has to say. PT1 hit, please trim. So we trimmed automatically by having a buy limit order down here. Okay. Um, he probably
Hey,
trimmed
hey,
by
Mark.
clicking buy one. Yeah, what's up? Somebody have a question?
I did.
Yeah, what's up?
This is the part that I get really confused about.
Okay.
Because it seems like you can do two plays, which would be awesome. You just hit PT1,
Mm-hmm.
and then it seems like on a bounce, which it normally does when it hits around PT1, you can do a buy coming back up. I don't know how to set that. I've never understood how to do that, but it looks awesome if that's the way it's set up.
Well, that's not what happened there, right? So we had we had two. I was short two contracts,
Okay.
right? So if I've sold two contracts, how do I get out of two short contracts?
You buy
I
you
buy.
buy two, right?
Yeah, I buy two, but instead of buying two, I just bought one. Okay, so I went from two short. I bought one right here, and two minus one is one. So I was short two contracts. I bought one contract. Now I'm only short one contract, right? I didn't reverse my position. I lessened the quantity. I took off some of my position, or like we like to say, trim. We trimmed our position. Okay, I'm not just because this is a profit target doesn't necessarily mean that I want to, go from short to going long. You can do that. So if you wanted to do that, I'm short one contract here. So if price gets down to here and I buy one, one and one is going to be zero, right? Negative one plus one is going to be zero. I'm no longer going to be in a trade. But if I wanted to do what you're suggesting, and which, some people do use a strategy like that, they're so confident in their levels that they'll reverse positions left and right. So if I'm short one and I want to get long down here after being short, I would change this to two. Okay, so what's going to happen here is if we hit this price down here, I'm going to be short one contract. I'm going to buy two contracts. So it's going to be my one short is going to be canceled out by one of these contracts, and then I'm going to be plus one. So I will be out of a short position and I will be into a long position down here. Does that make sense?
Yep, I got
Okay.
it.
Okay, so Alex, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but we were kind of just going over what you're asking. Okay, so first, let's just double check with Mark. Stop loss move to 49.9350. Okay, so 49.9350. That's our entry position. So I'm just going to drag this buy stop down right on top of the entry 49.9350. I need to adjust this here. Okay, so our stop is right at break even, and it looks like we're probably going to get stopped out here. And then Alex, as soon as this trade closes out, I'm gonna switch over to a micros account, and I'll show you how to trim that order. Okay, so this order is all closed out. That was a great trade. Should be up a little bit, and I want to make sure I have no more active orders. So I click on trade. Oops, trade. I click on DOM, DOM. That's depth of market. And then if this were not grayed out, I would click this CXL all, cancel all orders for the current symbol, Okay, just to make sure that I don't have any pending orders up. Okay, I'm going to switch to MES. So I'm on MES. This is a live account, so I'm going to risk a little bit of money here. I am going to go. All right, I'm going to go long. I'm going to go long 2 contracts. I'm going to use bracket orders. I'm going to have a stop loss of, let's see, down here below this swing low. So 49.88-ish, 49.88. And then I'm going to have a take profit of just 2 times my risk. So I'm risking 25 ticks to make 50 or 27. Okay, 2-ish. Okay, buy market. So I'm going to be instantly in this order. Okay, this is my entry, 2 contracts. This is my stop loss, sell stop 2. This is my sell limit or my profit target of 2. Okay, so when we say trim, there's a couple ways I can do this. Let's say, okay, I'm in $7.50 of profit. I want to take a little bit off of my trade. I'm going to go up here. I have 2 contracts. Okay. If I sell 2, I'm no longer going to have any. I'm not going to have any contracts anymore. So I want to take off 1 contract. So I'm going to change the quantity to 1, and I'm going to sell 1 because I bought 2. I want to sell 1 to reduce my position. Okay, so now I have 1 contract. I used to have 2. Now I have 1. Okay, if you notice this, my brackets did not change. So I need to make sure that my brackets match my order. So I'm going to click on this bracket, and you see how this blue line shows up to show that these orders are connected. They're bracket orders. So I'm going to click on modify order, and I'm going to change this to 1. Okay, so now if my 1 contract hits my stop, both of these brackets will cancel. Or if my 1 contract hits my target, both of these brackets will cancel. Okay. Alex, did you get all that? Did that help at all?
Is there a way to set up like automatic take profits?
Yes. So, like when you place your entry order, or what? Can you explain your
Correct.
question a little
So,
bit? Okay.
so when you normally buy or sell, you click on take profit, stop loss.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 2 profit targets. How would you add the other one, or how would you modify one of those instead of 2 to be 1 and then add another one?
So that's something that you can't. So like this, let's say you take 3 contracts and you want to scale out your position at 3 different points in profit, and you want your stop loss to automatically adjust to, so you don't have to manually adjust the quantity. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah. There's no way to do that using Trading View or being on Trade of 8 using Trading View. They just don't offer that. If you use the Trade of 8 app directly without using Trading View, they do have a little bit more robust options for scaling out of positions or for setting bracketed orders. But let's say you want to take 2 contracts down here near the lows. So I want to buy, I think we're going to bounce down here, and I want to scale out. So I'm going to do a buy limit at 49.8875. Okay, stop loss down here, sure. and I want my first target to be here, the swing high, and I want to do multiple orders, so then I could also just do another order here. Oops. Okay, I accidentally did an order a little too close. I would set the other take profit like up here. Okay, let's say I want to do one more, buy limit 49.8875. Okay, and then I want this to be a little bit more conservative profit target, so like right here. So if you want to scale out and not have to really manage your positions individually, or like update your quantity of your stops and your profit targets, you can just set the orders individually like I just did. Does that make sense, Eddie?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. I actually kind of like a short trade from here. This little flag here. Okay, so I'd like to enter short if price breaks below this flag. So the way I like to enter trades is I'm going to do a sell stop below this candle here, so like 49.90. Let's call it 49.90 for now. I'm going to have a stop loss and I'm going to have a take profit. Okay, I'm not really concerned about the exact numbers on this because I'm not entering this trade right now. So sell stop 49.90 with my brackets on. Okay, then I'm just going to drag this sell stop order. So if I'm doing a sell stop, price needs to come down through my entry price in order for me to get into this trade. So when I'm looking for a bear flag like this, okay, I'm just kind of waiting for this trend. I just want to enter when this trend line breaks. So I'm pulling this entry around this trend line here, and then my stop loss is going to be a couple ticks above the high. Okay, my target for this one will probably be down here, which is my support area, support zone. And I think I might do a second order. I will do a second order. 49.91. So sell stop right there. Okay, same stop loss, and then my target for this second order is going to be just above the low of day. Okay. Okay, I didn't get filled on that. The trend line broke a little bit. I was busy setting my order, which is kind of lucky that I didn't get in because it immediately pulled back up. Okay, if this goes too high, it's not really a bear flag anymore. It's pretty high as it is right now, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to pull up this entry a little bit. And pull up the stop loss a little bit. Okay, just move it up a little bit more. Okay, so that bigger profit that he was displaying was the same trade, just taken on a bigger account. So if you followed his trade exactly and you had 3 contracts, you would not have made this. You would have made this. Okay. Oop. Okay. Trade triggered. So I'm in this trade. Okay. I'm going to use my short position tool to kind of measure what's going on here. So this is my entry. This is my stop loss. My first target is going to give me a risk reward ratio of 1.18. My second target gives me a risk reward ratio of 4.09. So for me, anything over 1.5 is going to be pretty good. Combined, this is about 1 to 1 and then a 4 to 1. So overall, we're looking at like a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. because I have 2 contracts. Take that off. Okay, so I had a buy stop, 2 buy stop orders, or sorry, sell stop orders here. So when price came down through my sell stop is when my orders triggered. Now we just watch. Okay, my first target is right here. You can see there's obviously, we bounced here once, bounced here twice. So this is definitely an area of support. Little bounce here overnight, or yeah, in the pre-market session, so around right before 6 a.m. So this has definitely been an area of support. I'd like to think that we're going to break through because we have this big resistance area that prices struggle to break through to the upside. So for me, that means that we're probably going to move back down to this support zone. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but this for me would be the first obstacle. So this is where my first profit target is. My stop loss is up here, Alex, 49.94.75, where it says buy stop. Okay, Mark is still looking for shorts at 5,000 because it's a key psych level. We have supply zone, we have a simple jack level, so there's 3 layers of confluence. So we have the psych level, the supply zone, and the simple jack level. So that's 3 layers. He's looking for longs at 49.85 to 49.82.25, which is a 650 to 60 fib. I will be more cautious on this one since we do have a bit of a head and shoulders forming on the 5-minute, but I would think it would be good for a 2 to 3 point scalp. So what is this? 85 to 82.25. Okay, 85 to 82.25. So that's like right in here. Okay, so he's saying he wants to go long in here possibly, because it is the 50 to 60 fib. So I'm taking my Fibonacci tool, drawing, from this low to this high. Okay, 50%, 85, 60%, 82.25. So he's saying he's targeting this area because it's a 50 to 60% retracement of this move to the upside. But he's going to be cautious because if we get down to this area anytime soon, it's going to look like a 5-minute head and shoulders. Okay, so let's switch over to a 5-minute chart. Just going to remove my positions for a second so you guys can see what he's talking about. So head and shoulders, we have a little left shoulder here. We got a little head right there, and then we have a right shoulder right here. The neckline would be in this area. So he's saying if we break down this pattern, we could continue to go lower. Okay, looks like we're going to get stopped out on my short trade, unfortunately. Yep, stopped out. Okay. Alright, so we bounce back up into this area. Let's see. Okay, we're still in this area. I'm still going to be looking for short opportunities. Just got stopped out. I don't really see anything that's telling me I should get short again. So just gonna wait. Mark still has an order short up here at 5,000, the psych level he was talking about. So I'm gonna recreate that order. So I'm gonna just click on this little plus button I have next to the price at 5,000. I'm gonna create new order. I'm gonna want to sell when price goes up to this price. So I'm gonna sell limit to one contract, and I believe his original order was a 17 tick stop with a 17 tick profit. Okay, so when price goes up to 5,000, I'll be short one contract, risking 212.50 to make 212.50. Just double check with Mark to see. Okay, so his stop loss is actually 10 ticks with a profit of 13 ticks. So I'm going to adjust that on my chart also. I'm going to click modify order on the entry order, the sell limit, and I'm going to do 10 ticks here, 13 ticks here. So now I'm risking 125 to make 162. So I can actually, I can risk a little bit more since that stop loss is a little bit tighter. So I'm going to go with two contracts, risking 250 to make 325. Okay, that should have just triggered. It was a pretty strong move. We just got stopped out really fast. All right, so let's mess around with him. All right, so up a little bit from one of his plays, down a little bit from one of his plays, down a little bit from one of my plays. So we are in the red so far today, but anything can happen. The big thing that I want to just kind of emphasize for you guys is just managing your risk. Like on that trade, when we were, I'll kind of recreate it a little bit higher up on the chart. So initially we had an order that kind of looked like this, right? I was risking one contract, 17 ticks, and I was comfortable risking about $200 on this trade. He changed the order to make it, instead of 17 ticks, he made it 10 ticks on the stop loss. Okay, so when that came down to 10 ticks, I'm only risking with one contract $125, but I'm still comfortable risking $200. So I'm going to change that to 2 contracts to risk about $200 because I'm fine risking $200. Okay, now what the mistake that a lot of people make is instead of adjusting the amount of contracts they're using to get to a certain amount of risk based off of where their stop loss should be, they just do 2 contracts all the time. Okay, so if I had 2 contracts at 17 ticks, instead of risking, I'm comfortable risking 200, I'm risking 425. That doesn't make sense. Okay, if my stop loss needs to be up here, but I'm only okay risking 200, I shouldn't be taking 2 contracts right here. I should be taking 1 contract right here. Okay, so where your stop is should dictate how many contracts you can take. Right, if I'm all the way down here, I've got a tight stop loss because that's where my stop loss makes sense to be, and I'm only risking $75 on this trade. Actually, guys, I'm going to go long, I think, here. Oops. Buy stop. Buy stop, 1 contract. I like this little pullback thing that's happening right here. Okay, 1 contract. I don't have any real targets up here. I'm actually going to take 2 contracts. Buy, stop. Okay, I'm going to close one of these contracts at 1-to-1 risk to reward, which is, okay. So right here at 5,007, and I'm going to pull this and exit all the way up. So I have 2 contracts. If one gets closed out at 1-to-1 and the other one gets closed out at the stop loss, then I will break even on this trade. Actually, I'm going to take advantage of, oh, there we go. Okay, so now I only have 1 contract. If I get stopped out on this other contract, then I've not lost anything. I've not made anything, I've not lost anything. Okay, so for a situation like this, we broke out over that supply zone that Mark was talking about. We broke out over the 5,000 key level. We broke out over this resistance area that I had on my chart, which is from the 1-hour chart. This is a previous all-time high actually. So I am crossing my fingers that we're going to get price action. This continues to move up. So I'm going to be watching the 1-minute chart. and hopefully I'll just be able to continue to trail my stop up. I'm going to take off my sell limit order. And that kind of just reminds me that I don't have a profit target necessarily. I just want to try to follow the price action as we move up. So now kind of what I'm watching here is I'd like to see another high get made, and I'll trail my stop up to break even. So we have a high up here, we have a previous high here, we have a higher low right here. So if we break up here, this will be confirmed right here as a higher low. Then I'll be able to trail my stop just under this higher low. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just set an alert for if price breaks above here. Add alert. So if price breaks above here, my phone will go off, my computer will make a loud annoying noise, and then I'll know it's time to trail my stop to break even. And sometimes I'll just switch off of the screen so I don't get anxious about what's going on. We have crude oil inventories at 7:30, which is not a very high impact release. But then we do have a couple of things going on. We have two Fed speakers, one at 8 Pacific and then one at 9:30 Pacific, and then we have the 10-year bond action at 10:01 Pacific, which those three events could cause a decent amount of volatility. So hopefully this trade is just continues to move up. Don't have to worry too much about those economic events, but we shall see. Alright, my alert just went off. Okay, so we made a new high, so I'm going to trail my stop to break even, which is also right below this swing low here. Okay, so now what I would like to see is, okay, so we did swing high, swing low. I'd like to see another swing high, swing low, and then another swing high. Whoops, that was not helpful. So swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, And we need another swing high from here to confirm that this is a low. So it'd be a swing high here, and then I would be able to trail my stop below this swing low once this swing high is broken. That is what I would like to see. Hopefully that happens. If it doesn't, then we'll be out of our runner for break even. I like to look for flags. I've passed on a couple of flags. Actually, I mean, the first order that we got in on was a nice bull flag, so it flagged down right here. There's another one that showed up right here. I didn't want to add there, but that would have been nice. There's potentially another one forming right here. It's not a bad entry to get long on the breakout from here. I personally am just more interested in letting my position run than to taking on more risk. But it's not a bad spot to try to take a little scalp out of the market on a break above this little trend line. Maybe 1 to 2 points. So if we break above this little high right here, should get at least a little strong pop. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so we have swing high, swing low, swing high. There's not really a swing low here. I'm just going to leave my order, my stop loss at break even. Let's see what's going on over here. Really going. Okay, so I can't grab my stop loss because it's hidden behind my entry position. So I'm going to right click on my entry position and click no overlap. And click on my stop loss and then pull it up. So it's going to be grateful here. Pull this stop up pretty high. Okay, so it's below the low of the last 1 minute candle. So if I get stopped out down here, I'll lose 2 points. It's about $100 from what I'm up. But just kind of want to lock in profits right here. It's a pretty good trade. Still going. I literally have nothing above us, so kind of flying blind as to what our target should be. Maybe that means we'll just continue to move higher and higher. pretty tight on the stop there, and I'm out. So that was a pretty solid trade. Okay, I'm going to try long here again. So I'm going to do a buy stop order up here, a buy stop. I'm going to do it above here. So 50.12. Target, first target's going to be right below the high of day. And then my stop loss is going to be like very tight, like right here. Depends on what happens with this candle here. I'm going to take another contract too. So do a buy stop and just try to do something similar to what I did with that first trade where I got out of one contract for exactly my risk and I let the second contract run. Okay, so I've got two orders at 50.12. Stop loss at 5,975. First target is 5,014.25, and the trade has triggered. There's a bullish candle close on that last one. This candle right here. Okay, so one contract left, so now we're risk neutral. So we just took one contract for 1-to-1, right? So we just closed one contract for 2.25 points. Okay, now we have one contract left with 2.25 points risk. So if I made 2.25 points and I lose 2.25 points, then I am neutral or even on that trade. So I'm just going to leave my stop loss where it is. Cross my fingers that we just get a really strong push and I can trail my stop, just like I did on that this bear flag trade we took from down here. Oh, looks like it's going to get stopped out. All right, so even on that trade. So made 2.25 points on one of the contracts, lost 2.25 trades on the other contract. So basically, it's even as far as the trade goes, but lost money on the commission and fees. So lost a few bucks.